वेलकम टू वीलर्न। वीलर्न में आपका स्वागत है। टॉपिक फॉर टुडेज डिस्कशन इज मैनेजमेंट ऑफ पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस। वी आर कवरिंग सेशन 15, पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट इश्यूज इन पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस। टॉपिक कवर्ड आर Department of Public Enterprises, role in management of public enterprises, wage policy, central DA pattern pay scale, IDA pattern of pay scale, wage negotiation, voluntary retirement scheme, VRS in profit making public sector enterprises, VRS in marginally profit or loss making PSEs. Collective bargaining characteristics feature. Personal management issues when we talk about in public enterprises. They are basically handled by various agencies depending upon their importance. So for instance, when we talk about recruitment to higher appointments in public sector enterprises, such as those which are relating to CEOs, they are done through Public Enterprise Selection Board. So this board, they basically deal with the promotions and confirmation up to certain higher level of appointees. Lower level appointments or promotions are usually done at the CEO level. The Department of Public Enterprises, what happened in their 52nd report, जो estimate committee थी of 3rd Lok Sabha, they basically stressed the need for setting up a centralized coordinating unit जो कि continuous appraisals of performance public enterprises का काम करेगा. Because of this has led to the setting up of Bureau of Public Enterprises in the year 1965, BPE. In May 1990, BPE was conferred the status of full-fledged department और वो अब Department of Public Enterprises DPE के नाम से जाने लगा in the Ministry of Heavy Industry and Public Enterprises. Now DPE जो है एक नोडल एजेंसी की तरह एक्ट करता है फॉर ऑल द पब्लिक सेंटर्स, सेंट्रल पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस, और ये उनको असिस्ट करता है पॉलिसी फॉर्मुलेशंस विच आर रिलेटिंग टू द इकोनॉमी. It also helps in laying down policy guidelines or performance improvement and evaluation of financial, accounting, personal management और related areas. जो DPE है वो collect, evaluate और maintain करता है information with all the aspects of the public sector enterprises. When we talk about the role and task of the DP, there are certain roles. पहला जो role वो करता है, it is of a general policy जो कि पब्लिक सेक्टर से रिलेटेड होती है. दूसरा मैटर दैट इट टेक्स केयर इज द मैटर्स विच आर रिलेटिंग टू द रिजर्वेशन ऑफ पोस्ट पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस में टू सर्टेन क्लास ऑफ सिटीजन्स. इट टेक्स केयर ऑफ मैटर्स विच आर रिलेटिंग टू डेलीगेशन ऑफ पावर्स जो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स को मिलती है. Furthermore, there are matters जो कि इंटरनेशनल सेंटर फॉर प्रमोशन ऑफ एंटरप्राइजेस से रिलेट करते हैं या फिर स्कोप को रिलेट करते हैं, तो वो ये सारे मैटर्स को हैंडल करता है. इट ऑल्सो टेक्स केयर ऑफ द कोऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स फॉर मैनेजरियल पर्सनल इन पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस. There are policy which are relating to deputation of government officers to public sectors. जहाँ पे deputation होती है government officers की, उन matters को भी वो ज़रूर incorporate करता है. There are matters which are relating to counseling या फिर retaining or redeployment of rationalized employees to CPSEs. There are annual reviews of the performance of CPSEs and bringing out public enterprise survey. There are certain organizational structures that it follows. So अगर रोल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एंड पब्लिक की हम बात करें तो जो DPE है वो इट इज बेसिकली अंडर द चार्ज ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हैवी इंडस्ट्री एंड पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस. ये जो हेड डिपार्टमेंट है इट इज बेसिकली हेडेड बाय द सेक्रेटरी, जो कि असिस्ट करता है एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ ओवरऑल सैंक्शन स्ट्रेंथ का. इस डिपार्टमेंट के 5 डिविजन्स हैं. पहला डिवीजन है पॉलिसी फाइनेंशियल पॉलिसी डिवीजन, दूसरा है मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसी डिसीजन, फिर है मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग डिसीजन MOU डिसीजन, the administration and coordination division, and the last is the permanent machinery of arbitration. फिर दूसरा रोल आता है policy regarding wage settlement. Here the DPE it function as a nodal agency. Nodal agency for what? Evaluations of policy which are relating to wage settlement of unionized employees. या फिर पे रिविजन की बात करते हैं ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव्स हु आर होल्डिंग पोजीशंस बिलो द बोर्ड लेवल एज वेल एज द बोर्ड लेवल आल्सो. So the department it provides clarification and render advice to the administrative ministries. अगर हम बात करें पर्सनल पॉलिसी यूनिट की, so it is a very important task of personal policy unit to formulate पॉलिसी गाइडलाइंस ऑन पर्सनल मैटर्स या फिर बोर्ड स्ट्रक्चर पे, कैटेगराइजेशन ऑफ PSEs पे, विजिलेंस और परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल पे भी. इट ऑल्सो डील्स विद प्रोफेशनलाइजेशन ऑफ बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स एंड सिलेक्शन ऑफ नॉन ऑफिशियल डायरेक्टर्स ऑन द बोर्ड ऑफ PSU. क्रिएशन ऑफ पोस्ट एंड अपॉइंटमेंट्स. So categorization, upgradation and creation of new posts at the board levels, they are also appointment of part-time non-official directors on the board. They are done by the administrative ministry or department with a proper consultations with the DPE. When we talk about vigilance, so vigilance happens basically DPE also deals with vigilance management in public sector undertaking by issuing necessary guidelines and as a part of an ongoing exercise of strengthening vigilance machinery in public sector. Another is guidelines. The DPE it undertakes periodical review of guidelines which are issued by erstwhile bureaus of public enterprises to the public sector enterprises from time to time. So a compilation of 196 BPE guidelines retained after a review by vital committee, it has been issued in a booklet form which is by the titled Guidelines for Administrative Ministers or Department and Public Sector Enterprises. हम वेज पॉलिसी की बात करते हैं. So the government ने जो है it has given complete freedom to the management of public sector units. किस चीज की कंप्लीट फ्रीडम दिया? उन्होंने कंप्लीट फ्रीडम दिया कि वो नेगोशिएट कर सके पे स्केल्स विद इन द स्पेसिफाइड स्टिपुलेटेड कंडीशंस फॉर एन unionized staff. There are the 6th round of wage negotiation when we talk was to enter between the management and the worker union, which was to effect from 1st January 1997. There were government orders which were issued on 14th January 1909 and 26th July 2000 to this effect. The public sector enterprise, they are having 2 groups of employees. One group of employees are following the central DA pattern pay scale, while the other group of employees, they are following IDA pattern of pay scale. For this CDA pattern pay scale employees, their pay scales are governed by the recommendations of the Central Pay Commission and the government decisions thereon. The benefits are also are allowed to government employees are also extended to them as per the Supreme Court decision. So government policies, they are to employees, they should be on IDA pattern related pay scale. So there are 250 PSCs including banks, insurance companies and financial institution under the administrative control of the central government. When we talk about IDA pattern of pay scale, they are applicable basically to the clerical staff या फिर unionized cadre जो होता है, and they basically include executives जो कि 69 public sector enterprises से हम निकालते हैं, who were on the rolls of these companies as on 1st January 1986 and up to 31st December 1988. They were in receipt of CDA pattern pay scales during that time. But in pursuance of Honorable Supreme Court direction dated 3rd May 1990, they read a subsequent directions in 1991. Here IDA pattern and other related scales of pay have been introduced in the public sector enterprises with effect from 1989 January 1st. हम wage negotiations की बात करते हैं. So there is complete autonomy in the management of public sector enterprises to negotiate pay scales for the unionized staff within certain stipulated conditions that have been allowed by the government. जो latest wage negotiation हुआ है जो between the management और workers हुआ था, that came into effect on January 1st 97. Here the government issued orders on 14th January 99 and 26th July 2000 orders came to the effect. There are some public sector enterprises, those who have already implemented the negotiated wage settlement, while some others, they are also in the process. So now there are two groups of employees in public enterprises. The first group of employees, they follow CDA pattern pay scale, और जो दूसरा है, they follow IDA pattern pay scale. जो कि हमारा CDA pattern pay scale है, they are governed by the recommendation of Central Pay Scale Commission and the government decisions. The benefits are also allowed to government employees and they are extended to them as the part of as per Supreme Court directions. हम pay revisions for executives की बात करते हैं. The last pay which was revised for the IDA, it was employees, which was done on 1st January 97 for a period of 10 years and based on the recommendation of Justice Mohan Committee. In this regard to the unionized employees covered by the IDA pattern pay scale, government ने decide किया to allow them the option to opt for, पहला क्या उन्होंने option दिया, a 10-year periodicity of pay revision with 100% neutralization of dearness allowance as set out in the guidelines issued on January 14th 99. दूसरा उन्होंने किया कि a 5-year periodicity on the basis of graded neutralization which existed previously, that is from 1st January 92 to 31st December 96. So as per these recommendations of the High Power Pay Committee, the CDA pattern following employees of the Central Public Sector Enterprise would get pay revision only as and when similar changes are affected to central government employees. VRS, that is voluntary retirement scheme. So in a present scenario and an ongoing restructuring of the industry, including even central public sector units, there are several measures for reform and restructuring that have been taken up by the government. So right sizing of manpower in CPS use is one of the measure which was adopted. रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग ऑफ मैन पावर का क्या मतलब होता है? रिडंडेंसी को लीड करता है. इन दिस वेरी कॉन्टेक्स्ट ये एक कांस्टेंट एंडेवर है गवर्नमेंट का टू सेफगार्ड द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयज हु आर इन्वॉल्व्ड इन द पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिट्स. So in this process, VRS, which was initially announced in October 1988 for the first time, was further liberalized and a comprehensive package was notified dated May 5th 2000, which was to cater to the need of CPSU to meet their objective and also to protect the interest of the workers affected due to various modes of restructuring. Now with the liberalization in the compensation package, this would help the sick and loss-making unit in downsizing their manpower. When we talk about VRS in profit-making public sector enterprises, profit-making public sector enterprises, those who have जिन्होंने अपने workforce को reduce किया है so that they remain competitive, उन्होंने अपनी ही VRS स्कीम बनाई है and to make it more attractive for employees to opt for it. So what happens here? They offer as compensation which is 60 days salary or even a completed year of service. However, such compensation is not and will not exceed the salary for the benefit balance period of service left. When we talk about VRS in marginally profit or loss making public sector enterprises, they are permitted, उनको permission मिल गई है to introduce an improved VRS scheme which is based on गुजरात मॉडल. तो इस स्कीम के अंडर जो employees they will receive compensation, पहला 35 days salary for each completed years of service और दूसरा है 25 days per year of service for the balance service until superannuation subject to some condition. The other option which is available to employees is known as voluntary separation scheme, already approved by the government in respect of units which are under the Department of Heavy Industries. So the VRS optees can opt for either of these schemes. When we talk about collective bargaining, so it is a very important tool of negotiation between the worker and the owner managers in the industry. This is an important instrument in the hands of both the parties, the labor and the management, to avoid the needless stoppage of work of legitimate aspirations of the labor and expectations of the manager. अगर हम definition की बात करें तो in its widest sense it is a negotiation between the employer or group of employees and a group of work people to reach agreement on working condition. If negotiations are between an employer and a group of his own work people, the dependence of the work people on the employer for their job weakens their bargaining power. And therefore collective bargaining is more usually understood to be negotiated between one or more trade unions and an employer or a group of association of or employees. Trade unions they give the work people greater strength of providing means for expert presentation of demand by some skilled official right? A union, they has funds and the means of obtaining information outside any one undertaking, and they can secure for the work people at any one firm the support of their followers of the firm. We talk about the features of or characteristics of collective bargaining. One is it is a group action. So as the term collective bargaining ये signify अपने आप में करता है कि it is a group action instead of a unilateral or individual action. Second is flexibility, fluidity and mobility. तो फ्लेक्सिबल एटीट्यूड दोनों मैनेजमेंट और यूनियन का एक प्री रिक्विजिट है फॉर द सक्सेस ऑफ कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग. बोथ द पार्टीज दे मस्ट अडॉप्ट गिव एंड टेक पॉलिसी. तीसरा कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है बायलैटरल प्रोसेस. सो कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग इट इन्वॉल्व्स टू पार्टीज फॉर अराइविंग एट अ कॉमन अग्रीड सोल्यूशन. तो ये बायलैटरल हो गया. लास्ट इज इट इज अ कॉन्टिन्यूअस प्रोसेस. Continuous relationship between the management and the union, of which the signed agreement is only the beginning. All right, it establishes sound employer-employee relationship. There are two exercises. What is collective bargaining and what are the relevant wage policies? Thank you and have a nice day. Keep learning and relearning.